Hello traders, welcome back to the channel. I hope all of you enjoyed the Festival of Colors. Happy Holi to all of you. And let's start today's weekly sectoral analysis. Just like last week, I shared with all of you that Nifty spot is at a very important support in the monthly time frame chart. I'll just try to highlight it for all of you so you can understand in bit detail over here. So if you just have a look at the monthly time frame chart, I have retraced this particular low, which is of the 1st June 2022. From this low to this high, we have got a 38.20% retracement. Okay. And we can see that we are trying to bounce back. If I take one another swing low, which is of March 2020, the COVID low, if I retrace from this low to this recent high, which was in September 2024, even then we have a support. So I should say, if you're talking of long-term support, then that support is somewhere around 21,800 in the spot, and medium term is somewhere around 21,900. So within this range of 21,900, 21,800, we have a decent support. Now, going ahead and having a look at the weekly time frame chart, we can see one thing, that the RSI of this weekly Nifty spot has been trying to close in near the 30 level. Closing in the sense it's trying to go further down. But the momentum is lacking somewhere in the last 3 weeks because we have been choppy and range bound. Now, if you see what has happened, whenever the weekly RSI is between, you can say 40 and 30, generally a decent bounce back has come up in the recent times. I'm not going a lot back, but if you see somewhere over here, we have a downtrend. In the June 2022, we have bounced back sharply. Somewhere even over here, we have a medium-term bottom, and we have not just bounced back, but we have gone up much higher. So this is the statistics which I'm showing you. Now, what is happening as of now, right now, in the daily time frame chart, that is of utmost importance. Now, in terms of trend, I would tell you, in the monthly time frame chart, the trend is flat. In the weekly time frame chart, the trend is down. Even in the daily time frame chart, the trend is down, but we are lacking momentum. Now, RSI seems to be weak. The price action also seems to be weak. If I'm talking about, as I told you just before a few minutes, the long term and the medium term support is somewhere near 21,900, 21,800. But if you ask me where is the recent extreme short-term support, like say for example, if you're a short-term momentum trader or a very short-term trader, maybe a day trader, then I would say that this level of 22,300 could act as a short-term support. If price starts trading below it, if price starts trading below it and sustains below it, then I think long traders should be slightly careful. On the upside, if you're talking about resistance, then I think the resistance starts in the range of 22,700. Why? Because the reason is we are having this cluster over here in this zone. Plus, we have this previous low over here. And along with that, we have the 38.20% Fibonacci retracement. And we also have the 50% retracement. So I think I should say that as of now, Nifty is range bound between 22,700 and I should say 22,800, and on the downside it's like 21,900 is the support, 21,800 is the support. Again, if we start trading below 22,300, just be a bit careful about it. All right, let's have a look at the Bank Nifty. Okay, now for Bank Nifty, if you just have a look at the weekly time frame chart, the momentum is down, the trend is flat. There is some weakness which is visible somewhere in this zone. We started, dropping below somewhere in this zone, but there is not a lot of momentum. Okay, we are seeing very small candles, but still price is trying to slide on the downside. And this is more clearly visible in the daily time frame chart, because what is happening is the price is coming down, but it is like extremely, the trend is down, but the trend is like bounce back, again down, again up, again it's down, again a couple of days up, then again it's down. It's not a straight down move, basically, which futures trader like. It's not happening. So the trend is down, the momentum is also down, but the thing, it's not very, very fast. The momentum is lacking in the weekly time frame chart, but in the daily time frame chart, the momentum is visible, although it is slow. And I think the recent support could be this day's low. This day's low. Just understand that this day's low could act as a short-term support for bank. All right. PSU Banks. Now PSU Banks, if you have a look at the monthly time frame chart, you can say very clearly it was one of the outperforming sectors from 2020 to 2024, and that is the reason why it has corrected a lot recently. Now, if I retrace this entire swing from 18 November 2024 to possibly the high of 2nd December 2024, then we can see that we have been able to bounce back from this Fibonacci extension, which is close to 5,500, and it has been a sharp bounce back. Now, within this sharp bounce back, what we can see is we have a follow-through selling happening. Okay, this little bit of selling. Now, what I would say over here is that, again, PSU banks are at crossroads. Crossroads in the sense is the trend is down, the momentum is down. But I should say that this recent low is a short-term support. If you just plot a fib over here, a very, very short-term fib, and you convert it into a 2-hourly chart, you will be able to understand why I'm telling that this is a support. The very, very big candle over here, this candle, is coexisting with this cluster. So if we start trading below this, then I think bullish traders should be slightly careful about it. And on the upside, if you're asking me for a resistance, this recent high, which is at 59.70, is also a resistance. And if you have a look at this particular level, which will also act as a shorter term resistance, which is somewhere around 6070 and possibly 6080. Okay, so this is the first resistance at 59.80. The second resistance, the higher resistance, will come at 6070 and 6080. Okay. Private banking pack. Now in private banking pack, if you have a look, it is very much looking similar to the bank Nifty, but in comparison to the bank Nifty, somehow the private banking pack is showing a lot of momentum on the downside, maybe because of the recent cap downs which happened in few stock. So you can see over here, weakness is visible in the weekly time frame chart. Price is flowing on the downside very smoothly. Same thing is visible here, and I should say that the recent support over here is the recent low, which is at somewhere around, I should say, 23,770 in a round figure. So if we start trading below it, one should be slightly careful. Energy pack. Energy pack is slightly differently poised in comparison to some other sectors. Now, if you just have a look at the monthly time frame chart, if you just focus on the monthly time frame chart, you will notice one thing, that this rally was one way with very, very high momentum. And since it was high momentum, we also crashed on the downside with high momentum. Now, suddenly we are trading somewhere around this recent previous high, and this recent previous high is coexisting with the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement, and we are at a support. So in such cases, I think some sort of consolidation or a bounce back is generally probable as per the law of technical analysis. And to probably have an in-depth study a little bit more, we will try to have a look at the weekly time frame chart. In the weekly time frame chart, if you just have a look very closely on the price action, you can go to the line chart, convert this particular candlestick chart into a line chart. We have a lower low in the price, and we have a higher low in the RSI. So this is a very, very classical positive divergence, and this divergence is coming at a support. And we also have a swing failure, bottom failure swing in RSI, you can see over here. So this looks like a contrarian sort of bottom, sort of like that, but we need more momentum on the upside, and for that you will have to confirm it from the daily time frame chart, because in the daily time frame chart, I'll just extend this resistance a little bit far. Okay, you can see multiple times price has been rejected from these levels multiple times, and previously these levels have acted as a support. This is the first time, second time, and then the same support started acting as a resistance. So I think if you want to see some sort of pullback happening, then the energy pack should start trading and sustaining and possibly even closing above this particular level, which is 32,500 or 32,550. Then maybe some fireworks are visible on the side. Metal pack. Metal pack, if you have a look over here, I just try to draw this fib extension. We can see that we have been able to bounce back from here, and in the metal pack again we have a decent range breakout. I'll just try to show it to you in the daily time frame chart. We have a nice range breakout over here, which was consolidating since a lot of time, a lot of weeks in fact. But after this breakout, how will you confirm that this breakout is actually going to work? I have my own method, and it's very simple. According to me, if we are making a higher high, after that, if we have a retracement, a low, which is higher than the previous low, and then if we start moving ahead on the upside, I think that would be a time where we can start speaking that metal pack is looking a little bit more bullish than other sectors. Till then, I think we should just keep watching on the sector and do nothing. Just wait and watch very, very patiently. All right. Going ahead, let's have a look at the auto pack. Okay. Auto pack, in the weekly time frame chart, the trend is down. In the monthly time frame chart, the momentum is extremely fast on the downside. In the daily time frame chart also, there is no resentment. Continuous selling is visible on the downside. If you are asking for some important support, then I should say that possibly this low over here. Okay, this low, 20,450 or 60 is a decent support, and after that the next support is at 2162. But overall trend and momentum is on the downside for sure. Finance pack. Finance pack is flattish. The trend is up in the monthly time frame chart. The trend is flat over here because what is happening is the range is getting contracted. You can see the range is getting contracted. We have seen a sharp correction, after that a pullback, and we are possibly consolidating. I think we should wait for next few days or maybe a couple of weeks to understand whether we have a break on the upside, or this range continues further, or we have a break on the downside. I think only time will tell. We should not, generally I should say, we should not delve into sectors where the price action is very, very choppy, because the possibility of momentum is very, very less. And along with trend, traders also need momentum to make money. All right. So stay put, stay vigilant, but wait for a proper confirmation from this range. Now going ahead, we'll have a look at the consumption pack. Consumption pack, again, I should say that the trend is flat in the monthly time frame chart, but we are nearing an important support, which is a 50% retracement. So in the next few weeks, I'll be watching this sector very, very closely. In the weekly time frame chart, the RSI is below 40, and we can see what has happened last time when the consumption pack RSI was somewhere around 35 or 40. It has generally bounced back. Even over here, we have a sharp bounce, although this bounce back has not been sharp, but this bounce back was, I think, a nail in the coffin for the bears, and we had such a nice rally. This time what it happens, I think only time will tell. On the contrary, if you have a look at the daily time frame chart, the trend and momentum is on the downside. Recent short-term support is 10,000 to 30 to 20. So if we start trading below it, maybe a little bit of weakness could be possible. FMCG pack. FMCG pack is a sector which is extremely different in comparison to all other sectors. I'll tell you why. Now, in the monthly time frame chart, we are trading at a 50% retracement, a very strong support. The fall which has happened over here is very sharp, one-way sharp fall. Generally, after sharp fall, the pullbacks are also very sharp. But so far, in the last 2 weeks, we cannot see extremely sharp pullback, except this particular candle. Although it is not very sharp, but it's a little bit more respectful. RSI went close to 30. All right. Trend is down. Momentum is also down, I should say, in the weekly time frame chart. In the monthly time frame chart also, the trend is flat in the monthly time frame chart, but the momentum is down. And the momentum is also down in the weekly time frame chart. In the daily time frame chart, I should say the trend is down. The momentum is slightly, I should say slightly picking on the downside, not a lot. But if you have a look at the 2-hourly time frame charts, you will be able to understand that somewhere over here, RSI made a high slightly higher than it made a lower high. Same thing is visible over here. Okay, lower high, lower lower high, which is visible in the price. Lower high is also visible in the RSI. So this is a confirmation that momentum is slowly and steadily increasing on the downside. But I think once we start showing some breakdowns in this particular sector, only then a short-term dip in this sector will be visible, not otherwise. Infra pack. Infra pack, we have trended on the downside in the monthly time frame chart pretty nicely. If you if you retrace this move, okay, this entire move from the June 2022 to September 2024, just like Nifty, we have retraced by 38.20% retracement. And if you use the COVID lows, then we are trading below the support. But at least this support is holding on, which is showing in the monthly time frame charts. Going ahead, we can see that the previous week's candle was a pretty big, sharp candle, bounce back. And then suddenly the next week, we can see some sort of selling happening in the last 2 days. So I should say that more or less, we have bounced from a medium-term support somewhere here. On the upsides, we have this resistance band because we have been able to bounce back previously, and then this same band acted as a resistance. Again, we are back at this resistance. So I think the resistance level somewhere is at 8100 or 8140, just to add a cushion of 40 points more. And on the downside, I should say somewhere over here 7830 or something like that is a support. So more or less we are choppy, range bound. I think which way the price breaks, either on the upside, either on the downside, will probably decide the course of action in this particular sector. Possibility of downside is slightly more, it seems, because of the daily time frame chart. IT pack. Now IT pack, if you have a look in the monthly time frame chart, it's very, very clearly visible that okay, we were at a decent support of 61.80% retracement. We are trading below it. And if we have a look at the monthly time frame chart, I have extended this entire swing from this low to this high, and we are again at a support, which is we are trading a little bit below it, but not a lot below it. So 36,132 or the recent low is again a support. And apart from this extension, if I use this fib, then the supports have been broken. So in the weekly time frame chart, you will need to understand that the extensions are working a bit more than the retracement as of now. But yes, we are certainly at a support. Not a very strong support although, but we are at a support. If you have a look at the price is slightly away from the moving averages. So it's slightly overstretched. The way it has fallen is also one way down because there has been a gap over here. Generally, price gaps occurring in indexes, in the weekly time frame chart is very less likely. Generally, price gaps are more visible in the daily time frame charts rather than the monthly or the weeklies. Okay, but this shows the extent of momentum when the IT sector was falling, and even over here you can see the extent of high momentum. This is the first gap, this is the second gap over here. All right. So this shows that the extent of momentum on the downside. Now what I should say is I'll convert this chart over here into a line chart, and we'll have to first look out and confirm what do we have in the chart right now. We have a lower low. The answer is yes in the price. We have to confirm this thing with the RSI, and you know very well what I'm trying to speak about. If you check properly, I'll have to zoom out a little bit in RSI. Yes, we do have a slightly higher low in RSI. So what we can see over here, okay, what we can see over here is basically nothing else but lower low in price, higher low in RSI. Question is that, is this a positive divergence? The answer is no. This is not a positive divergence as of now. But certainly this is a sign that the trend is down, the momentum is down, but the momentum on the downside is slowly and steadily slowing down on the downside. Are there chances of reversal? 50% yes, 50% no, but only the future course of the price action will tell us. So we'll have to wait and watch what happens over here. Pharma pack. Pharma pack, I should say that we have retraced very, very sharply in the last 2 to 3 months. I'm not taking this particular month of March into account. I'm talking about Jan and Feb. We have corrected very, very sharply. If you have a look somewhere here, okay, the sell-off has been pretty sharp. We have been able to bounce back. In the daily time frame chart, the trend is flattish. In the weekly time frame chart, the trend is down, but it's trying to pick up. It's trying to go on the upside. So I should say that we are at a crossroads in the pharma pack again, and we should see the levels properly. 20,800 to possibly 20,650, 630. This is a range which is a resistance. Now, are we able to surpass this? If yes, maybe the pullback might continue. But if we start trading below this candle and possibly we start continue below it for 1 or 2 days, then the downside momentum may pick up. So just be careful on what particular direction trades you are taking in the pharma pack. PSE sector. Okay, PSE sector also, if you have a look in the monthly time frame chart, we have retraced very nicely. We are at a 38.20% retracement over here. The sharp has been really, really bad. Okay, and it has cut off all the longs, which unfortunately would have taken long positions on the upside. Okay, and then what we can see is in the weekly time frame chart, again, you can see something. Same thing what we saw in the IT pack. If you can understand this thing, what I shared with you in the IT pack, please comment in the video below and let me know what is this. So this will be sort of learning for the newbies who are watching this video. So you should understand that the momentum on the downside is slightly weakening. And in the PSE sector, in the daily time frame chart, I think we have given a very, 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 very sharp pullback, and we are at a recent resistance which is at 8773, or you can say on the round figure 8800. Maybe if we start trading above it, who knows what happens. So let me know in the comments below, what did you see in the weekly time frame chart. Realty pack. Now Realty pack, unlike other sectors, even though it is trading at a support in the weekly time frame chart, even though in the monthly time frame chart, yes, it is not very, very close to the support, but we are slowly and steadily inching towards that support. But if you have a look on the candles in the weekly time frame chart, they are negative. Even in the daily time frame chart, the candles are negative. So the trend and momentum in the real estate sector continues to be on the downside. Now, looking at mid caps, retraced a lot. Again, we have fallen very, very sharply. Currently at a support, which is the 47,600 levels, which is the fib extension on the downside. And in the daily time frame chart, a little bit more detail is visible that slowly and steadily in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 6 candles, just one is green and the rest all are red. So it shows a little bit of extent of bears are trying to overpower the bulls, I should say. And if you have a look at the 2 hourly time frame charts, you will be able to see this particular picture a little bit more clearly. And plotting this fib, you will understand that this low is an important support at 47,800, and trading below this could add a little bit more weakness in the mid caps. All right. Now, at the end, I would just say one thing by analyzing all the sectors, that currently market is at a place at a juncture where the trend is down, the momentum is also down, no doubt about it, because the previous trend, the previous last few months have been down, correct? But we are approaching important supports, not just in Nifty, okay? In the weekly time frame chart, we have already tested the support. In the monthly time frame chart, we have not tested the support of 21,800. It still needs to be tested in Nifty spot. In few sectors, it is visible that more weakness is visible. In few sectors, it is visible that the price is showing some sort of sign that the negative momentum on the downside is waning, which is getting weaker. Divergences are visible in the oscillators. Supports are near. But so far, we have only this first pullback which is visible. Now, after the pullback, if we start falling below again, then things will change. If we continue after just a small retracement, if you start continuing the upside, this will be a different thing altogether, because one important thing which I have not mentioned in the entire video, which is that this entire swing is a very, very big swing. Just compare this entire uptrend in the monthly time frame chart with all the uptrends in the last many years. Generally, when the swing is big, the 23.6% Fibonacci retracement can and may act, I'm using the word may act as a strong support, and we are near that. So I think the next couple of weeks will be very, very important. Stay vigilant, keep your eyes open, trade less, trade wisely. Thank you.